Hello and welcome to the Tibbo Talks podcast. It certainly has been a while, but we're making a return and we have a lot to look forward to. In today's episode, we're zooming into the music scene once again, and I'm delighted to be joined by Ben Lewis, the frontman and lead vocalist of the upcoming exciting indie rock band Small Talk. How are you doing, Ben?
Yeah, I'm really good. Thank you for having me on. Really appreciate it. I'm really
No worries at all. It's going to be great speaking with you, and thank you for your time again.
No worries at all. No worries.
Yeah, for those which may not be aware, Small Talk are an upcoming and really exciting indie band from Bournemouth. They're a four-piece. And Ben, I'd like to start really like where did it all start for you boys?
Yeah, so it's a bit mental actually. Basically, I'd never played music before I was 18 or something. So I literally never picked up an instrument. Yeah, I didn't have any musical kind of thing. I listened to a lot of indie music. I was listening to a lot of the 1975, a lot of the Wombats, Seagulls, all those sort of bands.
Yeah.
But it was kind of before lockdown a little bit, and I just kind of had this this kind of, I don't know, this feeling that I needed to pick up guitar because I was listening to a lot of music and I was like, okay, I want to learn because I was listening to a lot of Cortinas and things like that. Mm-hmm. I was like, I want to learn some songs. So I just kind of picked it up, started learning songs, and then yeah, I just started coming up with my own melodies. I didn't realize I kind of had this kind of thing where I could just come up with a melody and build a whole song around it. And all of a sudden I was writing these tunes, and they were terrible. I can't lie to you, mate. They were awful, as they are at the first time you kind of do them. But yeah, and things just kind of went a bit crazy from there. And yeah, I kind of joined up with my a friend of a friend, Harry, who's our drummer. And once lockdown had lifted, 2021, I want to say that kind of summer, we started going into the rehearsal room and rehearsing. We had two other members at the time, and yeah, we just kind of built up this thing. And yeah, it's kind of a bit crazy looking back on it. Yeah, no, and then actually in this exact room was the room I wrote our debut single, Head Start. So
really,
which is quite funny. Yeah, because it was back in when I was at uni, 2021, and yeah, I wrote it in this room. So yeah, it's been a pretty mad I don't know, yeah, a few years. I'm not even sure what's happened really. It's been a bit of a blur, but it's fun.
I was going to say, you've got lots to look forward to. You're very ambitious. You say you started writing your melodies and stuff during lockdown. Do you think that the lockdown really did kind of help you find your groove with the whole music scene?
Oh, massively. I think it was just the time. I had so much time on my hands. I mean, I was working as well alongside it, but I just had so much time to sit down and write stuff. And I didn't really know what I was doing at the time. You know what I mean? I was kind of going through it with no previous experience. But lockdown just gave me a chance just to experiment with stuff. And I kind of found the sound that I really liked and Harry really liked and we all really liked. And it kind of became this thing. And I was like, oh yeah. But you can hear, and also it gave me a chance to listen to a lot of different music as well in lockdown. I really kind of experimented with my music taste a bit more, started listening to different stuff. But even then, I still can't seem to beat the kind of indie music, the kind of modern indie music. I've listened to so much music, and that music gives me the best feeling, and that's exactly why we wanted to kind of create our music, because it's the anthemic kind of on your mate's shoulders kind of vibe at a festival with a pint in your hand. It just can't beat it. So
you can't.
That's kind of what you can't, mate. You can't. Yeah. And honestly, any other music, I love loads of different genres, but indie rock for me is just there's something about it that just makes me feel so excited and so positive in life. And that's kind of why I wanted to make that music. I wanted to make those kind of festival tunes that people would sing along to. So yeah, during lockdown, I just kind of watched loads of live videos as well. I watched loads of videos on Sam Fender and the 1975, and just watched how they performed and watched how they kind of the fans would be belting out these melodies. It's this is exactly what I want to do, man.
Two of my personal favorites there, you said as well. So yeah, I'm guessing you have
got the t-shirt.
Yeah, of course.
Love it, mate.
Had to rep the 1975 merch.
Yeah,
for this.
you got to love that. Man.
I was gonna say you've released many songs so far. Obviously, you said Head Start earlier was your first track. You've obviously got Lifeline as well, Paris, amongst many more, and I'm sure you will see loads more upcoming as well, and we'll discuss a few more later. But which one for you that you've released so far holds the most meaning?
So there's one called This Is Not the End, which is probably the most personal song I've written. And it, to be honest, the songs I'd written before weren't exactly necessarily like kind of looking into my life. It's more just kind of like general, like I wasn't necessarily writing it to like kind of get my emotion down. It was kind of just like a melody that fit with these lyrics that, like, you know, I kind of had some kind of like connection to. But This Is Not the End was like the first song I wrote where I was like, I was actually like really like, I remember being really like upset about a breakup, and I remember being on the train. I was like, I've just got to get all my kind of pour my emotions out. And I basically just poured my emotions out on the page, and that's like This Is Not the End. It's just the whole song. It's just me kind of like basically summing up my life, and like so it's like a really special song for me. And yeah, like I don't know. I know loads of people love like Lifeline and Head Start, and I love those songs. But that song for me is like the one. Or I almost didn't want to release it because it's like so personal to me. But I think it's great, like kind of interweaving your own kind of experiences within your art. And I think I really wanted to do that. And so that's probably like my favorite song that I've written, like lyrics wise. I think the most proud of, I'd probably say Lifeline, just because it was like exactly how I wanted it to be when I wrote the song. You know, I just wanted it to be that really like high energy and like that big chorus, and it just kind of came out perfectly. And yeah, and people loved that one, so I was really proud about that. But yeah, I'd say This Is Not the End is probably my most I'm most proud of, I think, lyric wise. And like
it's a brilliant song. And as you say, I think having the right mix of like your more upbeat and more like rock songs, and then your more slower personal songs, it kind of it really does kind of build up together and really kind of make like conjoin the band quite a lot.
100%.
Mixing. I'm assuming you boys all had good fun like recording these tracks.
It's great. It's great. Yeah, well, we the new ones that we're releasing now, we went up into Liverpool and recorded them with Alex Quinn. He's done like the Royston Club.
Oh wow.
The Lottery Winners. And so, it's a really, so we basically spent a week there. I got an Airbnb in Liverpool and just basically like spent all day in the studio, and it was so much fun because it felt like we were like proper full-time musicians.
Yeah.
Which, you know, we want to be, but like
absolutely,
it just for that week it felt like, you know, we're like it was amazing. But
flavor of what's to come.
Exactly. And it was the first time our lead guitarist Mickey was actually a part of the recording process, because the previous songs, the ones previous from Always Always, so the ones that were released like you know, as part of our first EP, they were all recorded just with me and Harry. Harry the drummer. So it was the first time we had Mickey along with us, who wrote the guitar parts for the new songs. And yeah, it was just so fun, like having so many different opinions, like so good, because like I'm very opinionated on like music, and like I always put my opinion across. And Mickey's also like that, which is really good because it makes us like kind of work together and find the best solution. Because you know, we all have different kind of preferences or whatever, but we always come to like a middle ground. I think that's really good to have that kind of thing. But yeah, we had such a good time in the studio. Like we love being in the studio and like writing tracks. You know, it's sick.
Yeah,
it's great.
There's definitely seems to be something about it which makes it really thrilling. Of course, of course, your latest release, Always Always, is personally one of my favorites. It's really it's such a good track. What's sort of the overall reaction to that track been so far?
Yeah, it's been mad, to be fair. Like we've got so much, like it just feels like such a big buzz for it, because yeah, like we've obviously the Spotify stuff went a bit crazy the last few weeks, and I think that's just from like maybe algorithm picking it up and stuff, and people like listen to it, and from TikTok as well. But yeah, like we've had like some, like we got playlisted on Radio X, which was crazy for us, because I listened to that when I was like 16, and you know, I just did not ever think that I'd ever be on that kind of list. But it's crazy. So yeah, no, we can't really believe the response to it, to be honest. Like it's really has kind of like, I mean, we knew it was a good song like when we wrote it, and we knew it was like, you know, it's kind of a good kind of like turning point in our sound, where we were like kind of developing ourselves a little bit. And I feel like everything had improved since the last batch of music we had recorded. So we were really like pleased with it. But yeah, we just didn't kind of expect that good a reaction from not necessarily fans, but from the industry as well. Like
absolutely,
it's just nice to be getting like some industry support through Radio X and people like John Kennedy and people like liking the tune. I think that's really like important for us, because obviously the industry it's tough. Like it's really hard to get people's attention. The fact we managed to get a few big names kind of like the song was fantastic for us. So,
absolutely, I was going to say pleased, but You've done a lot with BBC Introducing as well, haven't you?
Yeah. No, they're massive supporters. Our local Introducing Solent, Fern Buckley and Steph. I can't say her surname, I don't want to pronounce it wrong, but Steph from BBC Introducing Solent, she's been amazing to us. Like, she's always supported us and always like put us on the radio. And I remember the first time we got on there with Paris, and it was like such a big thing because it's like, oh my god, BBC, you know. That's crazy. And yeah, like honestly, the BBC Introducing is the biggest thing for like indie artists. Like,
absolutely,
it's so important. And I remember when there was a time when they thought they were gonna have to cut it all, and it was so like, I felt so like disappointed, because it's just like, without that platform, you wouldn't get a lot of artists you see nowadays. You know, you look at a lot of big artists, and they've played the BBC Introducing stage at Reading. They've been played on BBC Introducing, and it is the kind of the platform for where artists can really explode from. And
absolutely,
we're so grateful for BBC Introducing. It's such a great
platform. It's a vital building block, as you say, for all the upcoming indie bands. And you never know, we could see you on the BBC Introducing stage at Reading next year.
That would be an absolute dream for us. We said if we ever play Reading Festival, we will have to get small talk tattoos. So that's the agreement we've all made. So, and straight after as well, we'll get a tattoo artist waiting backstage to do it. So
do it on stage as you're performing.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I've always been against tattoos as well. Like, I'm not really a big fan of them. So it's a pretty big leap for us. But yeah, if we make Reading, I don't care. I'll do anything, man.
It would be some achievement.
It'd be amazing. Because I've been to that festival like 4 years in a row or something. So like, to actually be up on that stage would be so cool.
I was gonna say, loads of my friends went early this year. I couldn't get tickets, unfortunately, but next year I'm planning to go, hopefully. So
hopefully it'll be good. It was a good lineup last year, to be fair. I mean, obviously,
absolutely, it was brilliant.
Sunday, that was amazing. Yeah, was it Saturday?
Hope to see your name on the list for next year.
Oh, mate, I really hope it would be incredible. It would be incredible. We'll see. You never know.
We'll never know. But yeah, as you say, social media has certainly been a big thing that's helped you kind of promote. I mean, the algorithm helped me find you through TikTok, and then
brilliant. Love that.
And then I've been an avid follower. So
love that, man. That's so sick.
I've also seen loads of people comparing your music to the likes of Inhaler, Arctic Monkeys, all the big indie bands, the Wombats. All of my favorites and stuff. What do these comments mean to you? What do they make you like? How do you feel about them?
Oh yeah, no, I love being compared to those bands, because I don't see us as anything more than those bands. You know, we are the product of those bands, because they're the bands that I kind of, my late teenage years, I kind of listened to. So like, a lot of people say like, oh yeah, Oasis are like the band that got me, you know, but like, for me it was like the Wombats and Seagulls and the 1975. It was those bands that got me into making music. So to be compared to them is amazing. That's exactly what I want. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, we're completely unique, because we're not. We take influences from so many places, and you'll be able to hear them throughout, you know. And I'm not going to sit here and say we don't sound like anyone, because we do sound like a lot of bands, and you know. But I think it really helps get an initial fan bases by just kind of saying like, oh yeah, we sound like these guys, and you'll probably like us if you like these guys, you know. Because I think when I wasn't playing music and I was just kind of listening, if someone had come up to me and went, oh, do you like the Wombats and Inhaler and stuff, and I'd be like, yeah, they'd be like, oh, you're probably like this, and I'll listen to it, because you know, that's kind of how Spotify works. It gives you tracks that you might like, you know. So that's kind of a big thing for us, because we like to we want to position ourselves within that genre, because that is our genre at the end of the day. And there's no point saying like, oh yeah, we're completely different, because we're not. And I think it's good to acknowledge that, and I think it's good to be like, you know, when people compare us to other artists, I love it. I think it's amazing. I think it's brilliant.
Definitely, it puts you on the same sort of level, and you feel like, wow,
exactly.
this is massive.
It's a compliment, man. It's a compliment. Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely.
I take it. And that's kind of like baked within our kind of marketing, I guess, is saying that like we are similar to these guys, and if you do like these guys, you'll probably like us. Hopefully, hopefully. So,
definitely.
It's that sound, isn't it? It's that indie sound that
absolutely is. It's distinctive, as we said. So
it is.
I'm assuming you boys like particularly idolize certain bands or artists.
Yeah.
Who are some standout ones for you?
Yeah, for me personally, like I'm a big Seagulls fan, massive Seagulls fan. I mean, they're literally like my favorite band, and I've seen them so many times. So yeah, definitely Seagulls. Sam Fender, I love as well. He's so great. I'd love to have like a pint with him. I'd love to like just
he's such a sound guy.
Oh, honestly, I'd love to meet the guy. Like he's on my bucket list to meet. People like the Wombats as well. I just think it's so great. But yeah, also like I love like U2 as well. You know, more of those like The Cure as well. Like those kind of bands are like really, I feel like they were the kind of starting point of that kind of sound. And
Yeah.
I really like look up to them, and they've got some amazing albums. Joshua Tree is fantastic. I just love that album from U2. But yeah, just kind of like, yeah, like I mean, I know Harry again, he's a massive Sam Fender fan. He's actually got a tattoo on his arm.
Oh, really? Yeah.
The 17 tattoo.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah. And yeah, I think like Rob, our bassist, he's more into like Wolf Alice. He loves Wolf Alice, which I also love as well, but he's obsessed with them. And yeah, Mickey's got a little bit of a different taste. I think he's more into like Australian indie bands.
Oh, really?
It's quite interesting. And some really
that is
good
interesting,
ones. Yeah, it's really interesting because we were listening to it on our tour. Actually, he put loads of bands on. Honestly, so good. Like I never even thought to check them out, but there's some really good Australian indie bands you should definitely check out.
Yeah,
they're proper good. But yeah, no, we said the one person we would love to support is Sam Fender, 100%.
Well, big hopes for the future.
I know. No, if I get the chance to support anyone, it'd have to be Sam Fender.
Oh, beautiful. I was going to say,
starstruck, man.
I'm sure the next thing that could come for you is supporting a bigger artist, because we've seen it before. I think I went to the 1975 earlier this year, and they had a smaller artist performing there, and I hadn't even heard of her before.
Really?
So yeah, I think it was Bonnie Kemplay.
Oh yeah, I know.
Yeah, so I haven't heard of her before, but she was really good. And again, it gives the opportunity to smaller bands like yourselves to promote yourselves.
That is, I honestly think that's like the main thing now, is like trying to get a support slot, because it's just kind of like you get in front of 1,000 fans who are gonna probably like your music because you're a similar kind of genre, and it's just like it is perfect. They are really tough to get, and it's a lot of like work, but we've got a few things in the kind of, I can't speak about, unfortunately.
Okay.
It's under locks, but we got a couple of things coming which are really exciting.
I was gonna say, I've got written here that you tweeted massive gig announcements or something. So
yeah,
guessing that's under wraps.
That is under wraps. Unfortunately, I can't say anything.
That's okay.
Yeah, as soon as I find out, as soon as I can tell you, I'll let you know.
But it's a very exciting times ahead.
We'll get exciting.
We'll get onto that more later, but
100%.
Of course, ahead of the podcast, again, I saw a certain One Direction member had a significant influence in your fan base.
Yeah,
so tell us a bit more about that.
That was crazy, actually. So back in last October, we were kind of like plodding along a bit. Like we had released Head Start in Paris, and it was like we were on like maybe 800 monthly listeners, and things were like stagnating a bit, and it basically, in my lunch break, I saw this tweet by this band that basically put out tweets like slandering Louis Tomlinson for like giving smaller bands this opportunity to support him, which I was like, that's just ridiculous, because that is exactly what the industry needs. It needs someone who's bigger to kind of reach down and take people up, with him. And that's what Louis was doing, and he was big supporting like indie bands, and so I just tweeted like in support of him, and basically it just kind of blew up, and like loads of his fans came and just kind of like liked the tweet and followed us, and like started interacting with our music and like listened to our music, and it was just like it was overnight, and it was insane. And we got on like these big like fan page, like Harry Styles and Louis Tomlinson fan pages, where like thousands and thousands of people were seeing it. And it was insane. And yeah, like our monthly listeners jumped from like 800 to like 2,000 overnight.
That's mad.
Yeah, which is crazy. And a load of them have stuck with us as well, and they're amazing. They're like the best fans you could imagine. Like they they support us so much. Like they're always sharing our tweets. They're always like in interacting with us, and yeah, it's amazing. Like they're still, I'd say most of them have stuck around even now, like a year on from when it's happened, and it is amazing. And so from that we kind of kick-started, and that's how we actually got our debut tour as well. It was through that, and because they'd seen that we'd got like a good social media following, and they wanted to book us, and it was like, wow, this is literally everything we've done since then. I think I can attribute it to that time and that moment, that one tweet I put out in my lunch break at work, and everything that's happened since then I think has come from that. So it is pretty mad.
To say two giants of the media industry with those two there, and I think their fan base is absolutely vital with promoting your events and your music and stuff.
Amazing. They're honestly so amazing. Like they just love music as well, and they love, because Louis kind of gone down this route where he's bringing in more guitars into his music. He's kind of going down that indie rock route, and the fans really love it. And so I think there was loads of bands who also got discovered as well for it. Like there's a
Mm.
band called Fat Dads. I don't know if you've heard of them.
I've heard of them,
Uh,
yeah.
yeah, so they got discovered through that as well. And
Mm.
so loads of us like got all these opportunities, and yeah, they're just amazing
Yeah.
people, like really amazing people. And yeah, we're
Mm.
so grateful for that, because like I said, we wouldn't be anywhere near where we are today if it wasn't for them. So
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. I mean, you said your first UK tour was back in March. You did all
Yes,
around the
yeah.
UK. You did Bristol, Brighton, like
Mhm.
London, Manchester, all sorts. And then obviously your second one was last week at the start of October. How did it feel just performing in front of fans?
Yeah, so their first tour actually, it was amazing because we weren't used to like having people who knew our lyrics and fans come into our shows, and it actually was a really good turnout considering it was our first one.
Mm.
And like we were really happy with it. But then compared to the second one we did just now actually in October, well, this October obviously, it's like it was a level up, man. Like, honestly, like, it was crazy seeing how many people would come out and how packed the venues were. Like we were so
Yeah.
surprised because we just did not expect to like have that many people out. But the first one definitely kind of laid the groundwork, and it gave us a little reality check as well, because
Mm.
obviously we've had to adapt. Like we're a very new band, like we've had to adapt really quickly to like playing these sort of shows. And
Mm.
we kind of didn't have the right equipment. We weren't prepared as well. And so
Yeah.
we were like, right, we really need to like hone our craft in a bit more, kind of
Mm.
really get the practice in and start like acting like we're, a band that's playing shows all the time,
Yeah.
So yeah, we adapted really well. And I think this time around it was so much smoother, so much like we were just a lot better together as well. We were more cohesive because obviously we've been playing longer together, and it just
Yeah.
kind of feels like we're like nearly there now with our kind of like live sound. And it's
Mm.
always tricky playing live's difficult. Like it's especially tracks where they're very much studio tracks. Like a lot of our tracks, they're studio. There's a lot of layers, and it's
Yeah.
hard to make a live sound around it. But
Mm.
it's just practice, and like I think we've
Exactly.
kind of got there now, which is great.
Yeah.
That first tour laid the kind of foundations in essence. Yeah.
I was going to say the only way is up now. Can we expect a third tour anytime soon?
Well, there's nothing. Well, there is a run of shows planned in January.
Mm.
So we got obviously we had to reschedule our London one on tour.
Yeah, I saw that.
Tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, just because of like logistically wise, it just wasn't going to work. So we rescheduled it to the end of January, so January 29th.
Mm.
So and then we're going to plan a few shows around that. I can't say which yet, but we've got a few like in the kind of works. And that's going to coincide with like a big release. So that'd be quite cool.
Oh yeah.
As like a whole tour goes, I think we'll probably try and do it like after like maybe summer or like after the next summer, because the problem is obviously I'm back at uni now, and
Yeah.
I've got exams and stuff. So it's like I have
Mm.
to try and think. I've got to think, even though I don't want to. I've got to think about that and try and balance it around that.
Yeah.
So we'll just be kind of doing shows and hopefully loads of festivals in the summer, and then kind of build up
Yeah.
to another tour, hopefully
Mm.
kind of late 2024. I would
Yeah.
think.
Lots of exciting stuff ahead for sure.
Exactly.
As I said before, you guys are a band that's got lots of ambition, and I
Yeah.
really do hope you will all make it to
Thank
the top,
you.
because
Thank you,
honestly, it's exciting to see.
thank
It's
you.
such an excellent prospect. A bit of a difficult question, really. Is there a significant thing for you boys which makes you all stand out from other like indie bands?
I don't know. That is a difficult one because I think like I don't know what makes us stand. I don't know if we do stand out. It's just like I feel like our music is very like anthemic and very like poppy,
Mm.
and I don't think like there's a lot of that about nowadays, because the punk scene's quite big at the moment, which is great.
Yeah.
Like I love like punk and stuff, but that's kind of coming into like the forefront of like indie music at the moment.
Mm.
So I don't think there's like a lot of pop kind of guitar driven music coming
Yeah.
in now compared to where there was maybe like a few years ago when like that kind of boom happened with like Inhaler and Seagulls and all that.
Mm.
So I feel like we kind of want to bring that back a little bit.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say there's anything that makes us special. I think we just kind of enjoy what we do. We portray that on social media, and we like try and interact with our fan base, and we try and like, put on the best show we can and just see where it takes us really, and I think to say that hey, there's anything special about us would be a bit like narcissistic really, wouldn't it? Like there isn't really. Like we're just four mates who really enjoy the music we play, and really enjoy playing in front of people and enjoy promoting it as well, and enjoy being on social media and sharing our music, you know. And that's it really. And like, if it takes us somewhere bigger, then amazing. And if it doesn't, then at least we can say like, oh, you know, we wrote these tunes and like, you know, we've got all these memories, you know. So but
absolutely,
obviously we're very ambitious. Like we want to make it to the top, but we also know how difficult it is, you know. And it's like it's some of it is just, you know, luck as well. Like it's you know, like it's not necessarily about the music. It's, you know, whether you can like take the opportunities at the right time and, you know, get that kind of like, there's a bit of luck involved, but also you have to be prepared to take the opportunities and be kind of ready when they arise.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I wouldn't say there's anything special about us, man. Like we're just, like I said, we're just four lads like from Bournemouth who just love making music and just seeing where it goes, you know. And yeah, that's kind of like the main thing, I think.
I think that in itself could just be a reason you stand out. You just enjoy it, and you're four mates, and you're doing what you love, and that's the main thing, because it just shows how authentic you guys are to the music scene. It's brilliant, really.
100%, and I think like we're not like, we'd be the first to admit we're not the most amazing musicians in the world, but you know, we can come up with a catchy song, and like, you know, we can like, I guess, have that kind of personality where we're like, we're not like these amazing musicians, but like we you know, we can make those catchy songs, and that to me is like important, because it kind of just makes us come across as like, I don't know, not as those traditional kind of amazing musicians that you go, like, how the hell did they do that? Hopefully people listen to our music and go, yeah, I mean, I can see how they've done that. You know, it's not exactly groundbreaking, but it's fun, and it makes people want to move, and, you know, it makes people want to kind of jump up and sing the lyrics. And that's what we're looking for. We're not looking to like, you know, make a completely different genre or anything like that.
Exactly.
We are just looking to make fun music, you know. So yeah, that's kind
of that's fair enough. I was gonna say, you have a new single. Excuse me. You have a new single being released on the 27th of October. Lost in the Moment. Talk to me about the song. What's the song about? How's it significant?
So the song was actually written. So obviously we had two different members in previously. So this was like it would have been like no, this time last year, basically, actually. So and they left the band at that point. Just like kind of creative differences and stuff. And then I remember me and Harry sat down in my bedroom, and we were just kind of like, I think we were going out to a gig that night. So we were just having some drinks. We were getting drunk in my bedroom. And we were just like talking to each other, like, we need to come up with a banger now, just so we can like kind of like move on from this situation and keep small talk going, you know. So I remember like coming up with this riff, which is the main riff in Lost in the Moment. And like me and Harry, like our drunken selves, we were like gassed about it. We were like, this is so sick, you know. And I was just expecting, normally what happens is when you're drunk and you make music, the next day you listen back to it and it sounds awful. And it's like, oh no. But I wrote that riff, and anyway, we kind of forgot about it. Like we had a good night, and anyway, I came back to it the next day. I was like, oh, this is actually pretty good. And it kind of just all fell into place, and that song just got written really quickly. And it was like, wow, okay, we've actually got like a different, like it feels like a bit of a progress sound from what our previous stuff was like. And it was kind of the start of like, you know, our kind of new sound, I guess, you know, with these new tracks that we've got. And it was the first one we actually wrote out of the new tracks. So it's kind of like a straight up energetic like indie banger. Like there's no sugarcoating it, you know what I mean? It is just that, like, it's catchy, it's kind of everything that we do, really.
Absolutely,
song. And it's got a lot of emotion in the vocal as well. Like I put a lot of like emotion behind that vocal, which I think like kind of works quite well, and it conveys the message. And there's no real like meaning to it necessarily. I guess it's kind of like a bit like about a modern relationship and how things kind of go up and down and stuff. But to be honest, like it was just a song that we just kind of threw together because we were just like, let's get something down, let's like create this kind of new sound. And we're really excited about it. And we're really excited to kind of get it released, because I think
I'm buzzing to listen to it.
Thank you, man. It's gonna be good.
I've seen your teasers on all social media, and I'm expecting big things, and I'm sure it will be big things.
Oh no, expecting too much, maybe.
No, not at all.
Good. I hope you enjoy it. But,
thank you very much. But we've touched on it a little bit, but the future, of course, you're an exciting band, you're upcoming, you've got lots to look forward to. Where can you see you boys going in the future?
I mean, we're just going to continue writing songs, really. Like, you know, we haven't got a plan in place. We're just like, let's see how many good singles we can write, you know, and let's see where it takes us, you know. And we've obviously got a few shows planned, and we've got some big ones planned, which is great. But yeah, we just want to keep making the music and keep trying to get ourselves recognized, and you know, trying to get ourselves out there, because it's tough, man. Like sometimes you know, I sit down and I'm just like, I don't know if I can do this, because it's so hard to, like, sometimes I just feel defeated, you know, with social media and things like that, and it's just like, I don't know if I can do this. But then it's like, you would go through periods where everything's going well, and it's like, yeah, this is great. And so, you know, we just want to keep growing at the rate we're growing at, and eventually, hopefully, if we keep doing that, like in a few years, we'll have a real good fan base, and you know, we can kind of like, yeah, just say like, well, we've got like a proper fan base where we can play big shows and stuff, you know, around the UK.
Absolutely.
That's
Glastonbury.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, man. Like anything, like, yeah, we're just kind of, we're not forcing anything. We're just kind of taking it slowly and being like, we're still young, like we've got a lot of time on our side, so let's just like take it quite slow and build it up gradually, and then see where it takes us in a couple of years, because you just never know. And that's the beauty of it. Like,
absolutely,
you know,
yeah,
all it takes is like one of the songs to blow up, and you know,
yeah.
But yeah,
the only way is up.
Yeah, exactly, man, exactly. But in Liverpool, we recorded 5 songs, and always was the first one of that song. That bunch of songs that we recorded, and Lost the Moment is the second. So there'll be expect a few others, either early 2024 or late 2023. So
nice little teaser there. We love
yeah,
it.
exactly.
I'm sure any of your fans watching this will be very excited by that news.
No, 100%. Yeah, no, and they're big tunes as well.
That's good.
I think we're one of our favorites. I think probably the best song we've got actually is not come out yet. So but when that comes
out, excited.
Yeah, it's a good tune. So
perhaps an album soon, maybe.
Oh god, no. I mean, problem is with an album, like, it's so tough. Like, it's so expensive to record, man. Like, we have to kind of build that kind of like momentum before we can do that. But you know, we've got a lot planned next kind of few months and next year and stuff. So it's going to be exciting. It's going to be exciting.
Yeah,
just a shame I can't really say much more. Like, I'd love to. I'd love to tell you. I'd love to tell you the big gig news, but
all will be revealed very, very soon, I'm sure.
All will be revealed, I promise.
But yeah, Ben, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking to you today. Thank you so much for your time. Is there anything else you'd like to mention, or you want to plug your music or anything?
Yeah, check us out. Small Talk on Spotify. Just type it in. Obviously, new single Lost in the Moment coming on 27th of October. So make sure you pre-save it if you're watching before then. And if you're watching after then, give it a little listen. You might like it. And yeah, thanks for watching as well. Thank you for having me as well. I really appreciate it.
No worries at all, mate. Honestly, it's been real fun. And I wish you all the best for everything that is yet to come. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Lovely. And to all of our viewers or listeners, thank you for watching and listening. And I'll be back with another episode very soon.